Spreadsheets, business models, gaming? What does this all mean? Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Let me put this down. But while you're here, let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted to take your trading card game hobby and turn it into a business, but you found it impossible to find any product at a rate that you could possibly make money from? Or are you a player that's struggling to find product for the games you love? Well, have I got the solution for you. The PPG Investment Patreon can be your one-stop supplier for your trading card game needs. The Patreon will serve as a way for you to get products at a cheaper rate than TCG Player or any other market value without getting those distributor connections. Here's how it works. All patrons will immediately gain access to the PPG Investments Discord. This Discord will serve as a hub to promote requests for product, video releases, and as well as creating community engagement. Then, depending on your specific membership tier, you'll be able to place pre-orders for all games that we currently carry, and that list is always growing. So, here's the tiers. We've got the bronze tier. For $50 a month, you get the access to pre-order up to half a case of any product release that you want. At the silver tier, for $75, you can order a case of any product tier or product release that you would want. And the Big Daddy tier at $125 a month, you get the access to 3 cases of a product release. Now, this specific allocation is only tied to a singular release. So if there's multiple games that you're interested in and you want to go hard, we suggest that you do. Our goal is to help you create a successful TCG side hustle or to get the product that you desperately want to have. The only problem is you gotta act soon, because once each tier is capped out, there won't be another opening until possibly next month. So don't wait and join the PPG Investment Patreon today.
Yeah, so that's the ad. I know. I'm not a great actor, and what I learned from creating that ad was basically I'm not going to have a job in Hollywood. Now, that's what I wanted to show you guys. That's what I talked about last week, or I mentioned last week. Basically, we're getting ready to go ahead and fully launch the investment Patreon. I've made a whole lot of changes to it. It's as clean as I want it to be for the moment, but I'm definitely going to continue working on it. For those of you that didn't understand what I was trying to get at in the Patreon video or in the ad that I went ahead and posted, it's basically I partnered up with PPG, a long-lasting tournament organizer for the Bandai Games, distributor, a local for me. And what I said was, let's go ahead and be able to, with a subscription service, offer people the ability to order products at a reasonable price. Because the one thing I keep hearing from the community is that they can't get product, whether it be on Reddit, my YouTube videos, everywhere. They're just saying, I can't get any product, and it's horrible. I would love to play the game, but I'm stuck. And you'll see that later on in the video in terms of these prices, because they're still absolutely nuts. So for a subscription fee, you're able to go ahead and pre-order whatever product you want, not just One Piece, but obviously this is a One Piece channel, so I'm going to talk about the One Piece aspect. You can pre-order One Piece boxes at $60 per box. You can pre-order starter decks for like $6 or $8 a starter deck. The rates are insane. They're very reasonably priced. You're able to get, for whichever tier you want, X amount, so you can get, some for yourself. You can split the subscription service with a friend and then order a case, and it's meant to be a service, a resource for the player base to go ahead and be able to get product in their hands, be able to go ahead and if they want to get product to sell, because I know there's a lot of people that do that. Obviously, that's that for them as well. But I wanted it to be a resource for the community so that they're actually able to play the game, get into the game, and get cards and maybe distribute it, towards their friends and towards their local markets. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It's definitely been something that's been in the works and taking up a little bit of my time, but hopefully you guys receive it well. I will promise not to do that ad anymore, maybe like once or twice more on the channel, but we'll get back to the news. So this week, yesterday actually, unfortunately, the online regionals went ahead and went up for July. So the online regionals signups went up, and as soon as they were up, they immediately came down. 2 minutes, baby. They sold out in 2 minutes. Pro Play games. Yep. Core TCG and Play TCG all went up yesterday at 12 p.m. And as soon as they went up, I think they all sold out in under 5 minutes. I'd like to say even under 2 minutes, because I was unable to get into any single one of these, and I was ready at 11:55. Unlucky. Congratulations to everyone that made it. These events, again, are the same events that we've been talking about, where you basically get your Dawn. These are Dawn events. You get, there's opportunity to get cool sleeves, but you get the Gold Dawn, the Dawn pack, specifically the Luffy and you know, all of them except like maybe the Usopp is the cheapest one. But this is where you get the Straw Hat Dawn. You get an ability to get these featured cards. Finally, we get a place to go ahead and find this Luffy, right? We're finally getting a different event pack. This is event pack 2, which has Raizo with a very scary art. Spooky. We have Sanji. Again, this is going to be for the next, for the yellow set that comes out in OPO3. We already had access to Pudding from the other ones. Then we have this one, which was only available in Japan till recently. This was a promotional card, and it's really, really cool. It's for the 25th anniversary or something, as you see in the little bottom section there. But actually, really, really interesting card that's actually playable in our format. Another blue Straw Hat. We get this Frankie, which is a little bit, like, I'm not sure. It's an interesting card. I think they played it in Zoro Rush, but we just didn't have access to it until now. And then we have another Suru, so kind of cool to, to get an alt art of the Suru. But yeah, we have a new event pack coming out. A new event pack, Pog. And then we also have Sasaki, which is another very spooky art. They gave Sasaki and Raizo cards that you see really often. Very spooky art. And this Sanji's art is actually fantastic. Can't wait to see that. But then you have the participants. You have access to get the mat, the finalist, and then the mat as well. So that's what this news section was about. Unfortunately, it all sold out super duper quickly. So hopefully you guys were able to get in. And we're going to have to go ahead and wait until August to see where the offline regionals take us, because these are sold out. But definitely we're going to be able to go ahead and watch these tournaments, see where the game progresses, and I may possibly see you guys on the PPG stream, but that's not here nor there. And then let's get to the Market Watch portion. It's going to be short and sweet because there was the addition of the ad for this video. And honestly, the Market Watch section has been really stable. There have been multiple waves of product coming out. OPO1 finally recently this week, starter decks came back. We got the ability to have starter decks back into like fruition. So the original starter decks, the red, blue, purple, and green starter decks should be making their ways into stores, into Walmarts and Targets, I guess. But mostly your local game stores. Anyone that pre-ordered these is now wave 2 or 3 of the starter decks. So they should be more available. That means that all the Brooks, the Luffys, all those cards that were really expensive in the starter decks are going to come down a bit. The Queens, the Love Beams, all those cards that are being held up by the rarity that the structure decks had are now should be coming down. It should be, again, more accessible to the community. Not only that, but OPO1 wave and OPO2 wave actually came. So the OPO2 cards came down even further, and the market finally starts to see some health back into it. And in so much health, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the cards that retained insane value through OPO1. So Nami starting off as the number 1. I'm not even going to show her, but she stays at like $215, $210. That card seems like it's going to be holding $200 for a very, very long time. Zoro here basically holding $200 at $195 if you round it up. All of these Zoros sold for like $230 recently, like the day. And then, yeah, we only have 2 Zoros right until it gets right back to $230. Maybe these guys are just trying to quick sale it. Yeah, it's 534 sales. And then it starts to be the healthy zones of 50,000 sales at $230. So Zoro being able to hold that 230 mark, showing that he's just, I'm a beast of a leader in set 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth, until Red gets some sort of like some breaks added to it, hopefully. We also have the Trafalgar Law. Trafalgar Law just keeps climbing up. Obviously, with its continued tournament success, I'm not surprised at this by any means. But seeing this leader hold 175, just climb up. I think this leader started at like $60. Then it went up to like $80, and then slowly to like 100, 120, now 175. It's really nice to see that the more that this deck gets played, the more popular. I mean, the card looks absolutely fantastic to me. That's first of all. Secondly, he's a really well-loved character. And third, he's competitive as heck. But it just took people a little bit longer maybe to get familiarized with how to play him. He's a very cool leader, and I'm excited to see him at 175. Another card that really held value, unbeknownst to me, and honestly, I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand, but at the same time, like, this price tag seems a little high for this Luffy, because I do not have him in my collection, and I'm sad about that because he just keeps going up. So this Luffy, not really meta, but he holds really good colors. He holds really good tags. He's a Supernova Straw Hat, green, red. You know, perfect color combination, similar to Law, which is a very strong color combo. The only issue is its ability is nowhere near strong as Law, but it's a strong ability nonetheless that with the right support, or with the right Supernova, with the right Straw Hat printing of a card, this card can get really, really strong. If you can go ahead and activate its effect twice, if it's effective or aggressive enough that you can be like, I can pay 4 to, you know, unrest and hit again, or to get another piece of value, then this card will become very, very strong in the future. He's also a Luffy, which, yep, that means something in this game. So I can understand why it holds this value. It's just, my goodness, 113 to 140 is pretty high. Let's not forget that the big head leaders only come 4 in a case, so you can also get like a king or something, and obviously that's a very different caliber of leader than Luffy. Now we're gonna move on to cards that I think are very well priced. The Rush Zoro is kind of sort of falling out of favor, right? This is a card that, and if you look at the chart here, this is the past 3 months. If you look even further, I'm pretty sure this card hit like $200 at one point. Seems like its peak here was like 172, but it's not getting it accurately because I 100% saw this card selling for $200 at one point. He's finally come down to about $105. If we look here, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily true. He's like a 110er. Seems like the zone is a lot of 110, so he's about a $110 card, which is, in my opinion, pretty darn reasonable for this type of card. The artwork is insane. His ability is fantastic. His stats are amazing. I don't want to keep repeating the same, but it's a very good card, and honestly, being able to see it at $100 is really, really cool for the community, as well as the fact that the more waves that we see, I think we might see just a couple more waves of OP01. Don't quote me on this, but with those more waves that are coming out, hopefully we get to see a little bit more price drops in OP01 cards. Obviously, the ones that are retaining value should continue to retain value, or expected to, but cards like this Zoro that, you know, come in and out of favor may go down just a little bit more, like Boa, Zoro, Law, the character cards should go down. Then Edward Yuge dropped down from $200 to about $140. Like I said, OP02 cards keep getting wave after wave of reprint. They're soft waves. It's not like you'll hear it about it from the store. Like the store will say, we got a fresh shipping of OP02. No, it's more like they got a couple more boxes of OP02. You'll see a couple more packs of OP02 showing up in Targets, Walmarts, Barnes & Nobles, Five Below, whatever retailers that you guys find. You'll see them coming up more and more often. In that, you know, obviously with more product, there's less scarcity. Less scarcity drives the price down, and here we are at $140. This leader is God. I love and hate him so much. It's crazy because I'm a huge fan of Whitebeard. The Whitebeard pirates are so cool. Again, I've said it multiple times. My favorite arc was Marineford, and in the character, I mean, the character is so cool in the show. It's insane. And even though the card is thematic, it's cool. He's the strongest man alive. Like I've said all these things, and yeah, there's a lot of the printing of the card, the writing of the effect, everything was so well done, like to the story, to the show. And then now you play it in TCG and you're like, my God, a 6,000 base leader is freaking nuts. The fact that I can combo that off with Radical Beam and Guard Point and a billion 2Ks, I can never do damage to him. Then he shoves one of these down your throats and you're like, oh my God. So yeah, I love him. I hate him. He's fantastic. But at the end of the day, whether I love him or hate him, he's $140, which is a huge difference. If you look here, a baby, you know, within the last 3 months, he was $210. He's dropped significantly, about $70, or like, I don't want to do the percentage here in my head, but he's dropped a pretty fat amount. So if you haven't been able to get your big head Whitebeards, you can do so very, very soon. I big negged on this card. Then we also have the Newgate from the Paramount War, the character card, which is another back-breaking card in the game. Even though they banned Moby Dick, this card, this piece of cardboard is still within my life, and it hurts me. It hurts me so much. Yeah, this card's still in the game, $58, which, you know, is a huge drop. He was like at 100. He started off at 160. He was holding 100 for about like a week or two, and then now he's about $50. Yeah, if this card doesn't get banned, it's still going to be a menace. Next set, OP03. Whitebeard gets a bunch of great cards. And it's not just cards that you can play in the Edward Newgate deck. It's in every red deck. You get Izo, which allows you to search any of your Whitebeard cards. You get a Nami for the Whitebeard archetype, as well as you get a free new Marco, which is a really, really good card. But I do expect the Whitebeard is going to be very, very crazy. If nothing happens to Whitebeard or the Whitebeard Pirates or any of the cards in the red section, Whitebeard is going to be really, really strong next set. All of these cards that I'm about to show you are very, very well priced. These cards are cards that were going for like 3 times as much initially, and now they're down to 1/3 of their original price, where this one dropped about $70. So if you haven't picked these up, these are really good pickups, as these cards are super duper strong. $50 for this card is a deal. Even when I saw Marco hitting 50 bucks, I was like, oh my god, that's such a great price for Marco. Now I see Marco at 30 bucks. Again, that's just great for the community. He's bounced up from 25 bucks. Let me tell you, if you've never played this card, if you've never summoned this card in any red deck, he's ridiculous. He's like one of the craziest cards there is, in my opinion. The fact that you can continue to revive him just by pitching a card from your hand, any single card, a card that doesn't have combo power if you're playing Moby Dick, a card like a 1k and you're blocking a 9k is just really, really nice. He's super duper cool. And again, as the deck gets more support in the following set, I do expect all of these Edward Newgate Pirates to continue to go up. Then we have Kinemon. Kinemon now dropped all the way down to $90. A deck that was extremely hyped up. Everyone thought it was going to like conquer the meta. It was going to be one of the best leaders ever. Has gone from about 150 bucks to $90. Dropped about 60 bucks, which is like 45% of its evaluation. Not bad. Not bad. It's another good pickup, I would think, at $90. All the big heads, again, 4 per case, are really good pickups because eventually, once that set starts to become more scarce, less printed, as we move into future sets, he's just going to disappear with that following set. We've got Crocodile. Crocodile's again from the first set. Now, this is not a card that has held value. This is not a card that is good to pick up. This is a card that, as support comes out, look at this humongous jump from 50 to now $85. For those of you that don't know, a bunch of cards are getting revealed for OPO5, I want to say. And there are some crazy purple and blue cards that are being printed that just so happen to be 7 Great Warlords. They are Baroque work. There is a new Crocodile character card that is just so sheesh. God, that card is good. You know, I'm an enjoyer of Blurple Croc, and let me tell you, the future's looking good for Blurple Croc. All this deck needs is a little nudge, a little push, and we're gonna see fantastic results. At least that's what I believe. I think this deck is super cool. I'm excited to see where Blurple Croc goes in the future, but we're gonna have to wait maybe towards the end of the year before we see that. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel for you Blurple Crocodile enjoyers. Then another great pickup. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the 3 Admirals are now like super below what they used to be. They all used to be $100. Like if you wanted an Admiral, $100 for the alt arts. Now we're seeing 45 on the Borzolino, which is one of the best black cards ever printed, in my opinion. He's just bananas. Cannot be KO'd, 6k blocker, 5k stat line with counter power. The pose is just so sheesh. Like, I mean, come on, man. This card is crazy. Sure, you can get them for topping events and they're prize cards now, but at the same time, those are prize cards. How often are you going to be able to play those in your deck? You might as well just have these beautiful altars, which all of them look fantastic in person. Again, it's Kuzan dropping down to like $36. That's because, again, Kuzan, even though it's a super powerful card for the black deck, if you're playing Rob Bellucci or something along Rob Bellucci's line for the next, if you're looking into the future, you don't really play Kuzan. Even though, as crazy as that sounds, the card is crazy. The card is really one of the best black cards in the game next to Borzolino. And then probably Borzolino is 1, this is 2, and this is like 3. And you don't play this guy. Because Rob Bellucci doesn't really care to reduce a cost. Although you could make like a reduction cost, destruction-based Rob Bellucci character. It's not really what we've con and seen in the East, and since people again see what happens in the East, they expect something, and it happens here in the West. Maybe Kuzan will go up in value, but seeing him for $36 for the alt art is a super great pickup. This is a good card that, even though he might not see a place in the meta in the next set or in the current set, he will see one eventually, in my opinion. And then Sakazuki being $33 for a 6/7 KO a dude is like crazy. I saw all these prices recently. I was just like, I had never been able to play black before because they were so expensive. Well, like I could have, played with the rares, but I wanted to pick up these alt arts because I think, I really like the Admirals and what they do in the show. And again, Marineford, super cool saga. We hate and love this guy and him and his darn Hawaiian shirt. But now at these prices, you are very, maybe not easily, but you're more willing to be able to pick up a playset of 4 Sakazukis for $120 as opposed to 1 Sakazuki for $100, or 1 Sakazuki for $60. If you look at these drops, he was like 70, so picking up 4 of them would have been like $200, almost $300, $280, which is really, really high. If you're paying shipping and taxes on that, you're for sure in the $300 range for a playset. Now you're paying 1/3 of that for a playset, which is really nice, and same goes for these gentlemen right here. I also want to talk quickly about this Magellan card. One of the cheapest alt arts in the set. He's $20. I don't think there's a cheaper alt art than Magellan in OPO2. And that's a shame because this guy is super, super good. In a meta where this guy is like what they want to get towards and this guy is just punching you in the face, Magellan has a really good spot. I know purple's kind of been pushed down the meta because if it's all red, purple has a bad time. It just is what it is. If it's a full red meta, which it's kind of feeling like it is, purple sometimes struggles to keep up. This Magellan, though, is able to hold this guy back. If that's their whole game plan, if you're playing against Strawbeard, this Magellan houses them. If you're not playing against Strawbeard and it's the Stage Beard, Boat Beard, whatever you want to call it, nothing happens. If you're playing against Zoro, kind of nothing happens. But it's really, really cool, and it slows down their Whitebeard turn. If you're able to play 2 of this, it like super slows down their Whitebeard turn, and if you take second away from them, they have to play like 3 turns behind, meaning that the Stage Beard or the Straw Hat Whitebeard deck just cannot summon this guy, and that's kind of the crutch of the deck. And that gives you enough time to win the game just because of this Magellan. It's a card that can also never be KO'd on your opponent's turn. I don't know. This card's crazy, crazy strong, and it being 20 bucks and the cheapest alternative to OPO2 feels like a shame. So with that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed that little ad. Yeah, as always, guys, if you like this sort of content, make sure to leave a like. If you have anything you want to discuss in the comment section that I missed or may have missed, cards that have gone up, gone down, because I started looking at the market and there's a lot to discuss, but there's honestly not been that much volatility. I think I went through it as much as I could here in this video. And as always, guys, if you're liking this sort of content and want to join the crew, consider subscribing with that subscribe button down below. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.